Obviously, my name is Chase Brown. I'm going to be moderating this discussion today. And the first thing I want you guys to do, and I know Tim's really not going to like this, is I want you guys to actually take out your cell phone. Ooh. Yeah. I mean, you're already on it, dude, so you're good. So, this is just to prove a point that everyone here has a cell phone, right? Like, and majority of all the research that we put together here is 89% of adults in America have a cell phone. All right, and there are a lot of good things that come about because of these cell phones over the past decade or so. Some of the research that I was pulling up is in 2012, more than $24.66 billion were made on a mobile economy. And that stems from not just like buying a cell phone, we're talking like doing trades over a cell phone, business arrangements over a cell phone, anything and everything that comes together for a cell phone in business. That's how much money has been drawn in just because of that one source of media. Other good things that has come about from it is, obviously you're going to use your cell phone to do what? Main thing, keep in touch. All right, with anyone and everyone, people across the world, family members that have gone elsewhere, anything and everything. As well as like the number 2, I think, aside from keeping in touch, is that emergency use. Say something happens, car accidents, someone goes down with your family members, you got to tell everyone else. You're going to use that cell phone right away. Like that's your go-to every single time. And then another thing that might be going off right now too. Another thing that always helps out with is going to be, I didn't realize it, but I like the idea that it actually helps a lot with people with speech disabilities. Whether it could just be from anything, like perfect example would be not really a cell phone, but technology to help look at Stephen Hawking's "You Can't Talk" technology. Boom, right then and there. I've even had people that I've waited on before who cannot speak at all. They are deaf, they are signing everything. They bust up their cell phones and they're like, boom, here you go. I know it's a weird medium, but it actually helps out a whole lot. But just like anything else though, too much of a good thing can be a really bad thing. So we're here to talk about cell phone addiction. So that's basically going to be what we're going to be tying this all around to. See, it's already went. Think about it like from alcohol, right? If you have too much alcohol, too much of a good thing, you're an alcoholic. All right. Same thing when it comes down to cell phone addiction. And during this research, we found that there's actually a term for it. It's called nomophobia, and it's no mobile phone phobia. And that actually is going to stem off into a lot of other different things too. That other disorders that you may already know of, like obsessive compulsive disorder, or another one that I really liked and actually was very interested in reading more about was called fear of being left out. I know someone mentioned something similar in another panel, but it's true, like without your cell phone, you have that fear of being like, oh wait, I could have got that text message, or I could have got that call, or a friend could have told me what was going on tonight, I missed out. You have that constant fear of being like, that is my source of communication. And it is really interesting to see all the stuff that has just become of it. Perfect example, addiction. The definition of it is a fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. How many people use your cell phone as an alarm clock? Okay, so first thing you guys do when you get up afterwards, check your phone, see the text messages, social media, anything and everything, you're just scrolling through that. And before you even go to bed, you're doing the same exact thing. See, it's still going off. The main thing we're trying to say here too is like, we're more than guilty than more than half of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. We don't want to come across as being like, all right guys, hey, we're way better than this. It's more like trying to bring you awareness of how addicted we are to our cell phones and trying to get a grasp on everything else here. So the first thing we're going to kick it off here with actually is going to be health hazards. And Dominic's going to take over this and I'll hand it off to him.
Okay, so basically, a lot of people use cell phones. The majority of the population today, 40% of the population are addicted to their smartphones. That's like 1 in every 8 persons here. So how many people would admit that they're addicted to their cell phones? Do you guys honestly know the health hazards? Do you know how much you're putting your health at risk? Well, 44% of the people have stated that they become very anxious when they lose their phones and become phoneless for an entire week. It used to be a week, but recent studies have stated that that week has now turned into a day. People depend on their phones way more than they used to. And an average person checks their phone 110 times a day, while the more addicted check their phones 900 times a day. Do you think that's really reasonable? It's not. And according to a psychological expert, Dr. Rick Newer, 1 in 2 people say that if they wake up in the middle of the night without any reason, they would check their phones. Do you guys wake up in the middle of the night? Because of your phones? You check it? No? Some of you?
A lot, it's all good.
Oh, is it because you just stay up all night instead of sleeping? Cell phone addiction changes sleep patterns. And according to research conducted from Stanford, it has been found that the blue light emitted from phones disrupts the body's natural rhythms, tricking the body into thinking it's daytime rather than night. This stops the production of the natural sleep hormone melanin and keeps a person awake. Experts have warned that over time, a continued lack of sleep can lead to a weakened immune system and an increased risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes, inability to concentrate, poor memory, inactive mind, and learning problems. It can also make a person more susceptible to mental health problems such as anxiety and depression. It can impair fertility in both men and women. So believe it or not, using your cell phone, it puts you at risk of not being able to have kids in the future. Believe it or not, because of the radiation that it emits, and because of the cell phone towers that are needed for the cell phones in general, causes more radiation. So, and the radiation prevents our bodies from evolving productively, and it digresses us to the point where, like, if we didn't have cell phones, our body would have been more adaptive to beating cancer rather than not having cell phones. And this causes our bodies not being able to adapt productively, and therefore it's preventing us from beating cancer naturally. And for every 100 hours that you spend talking on the phone, you increase the risk of brain cancer by as much as 5%. Latest research that was conducted has concluded that the use of mobile phones in the long term can result in increased risk of glioma because of the radiation output. Glioma is the most popular brain tumor. So just keep in mind, like when your phone is next to your head, that it's putting you at risk to get that glioma. And I don't want nobody here to get glioma.
So, Dom, first question for you. Obviously, you listed off some of we mentioned some of the helpful reasons. And what are some of the damaging, also aside from physically? Like, are we talking, psychologically? Like, what else is it doing for you?
Okay, psychologically, they are increasing. Psychologically, they are increasing the amount of stress and anxiety that one faces in a lifespan, which ultimately shortens it. It can also cause us to become dependent on something that can literally give us withdrawal. So if you think about people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, that could be the same addiction for phones. So you're gonna face the withdrawals. You're gonna you're gonna get the itch to want to check your phone and stuff.
And then, all right, so what are you guilty of so far after we researched a lot of this stuff? Like, what part of cell phone addiction have you noticed that you're definitely addicted to?
Okay, when I first started this, I thought I was addicted to my phone, but YouTube actually has an addiction test, and I took it. I'm borderline addicted, so good thing I noticed this, because I probably would have been addicted. Because I wake up in the middle of the night, check my phone, and I'm always checking probably like 700 times a day.
All right, thanks, Tom. Next, we're actually going to turn it over to lacking interpersonal skills because of you being addicted to your cell phone. How many times that you're either like cutting off that personal connection with people, or just completely not even acknowledging them at all because you're on your phone. And Teeny's actually going to talk more about this.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to talk about the cell phone addiction that can lead to the lack of communication skill face-to-face. So being so connected to cell phone and constantly plugged into social media is really show negative effects such as less connecting face-to-face conversation, decreased amount eye contact, which is show disrespectful, break emotional connection, and could create big family and others. People create cell phone nowadays, they don't talk face-to-face anymore. Instead, they use texting. And they not even pay attention to the greeting word, hi, how are you? They just stuck in a cell phone screen. So stay on the phone and forget what is the real world. It's like texting at the dinner table, like a family dinner table. They don't talk anymore, they just texting. And see the world through their phone and interaction less. As we can see now, parents have given smartphone to the kids, playing game, watch cartoon, and so on, instead of talking and play any activity to make a good memory together. The researchers show that average person check phone 150 times a day in every 6 minutes. Moreover, 3 out of 5 smartphone users cannot go an hour without checking their phone, completely guilty. Like the other weekend, I went to the restaurant. I saw one guy walk in with the cell phone on, and he not looking anybody around. He just sit down. The waiter gave him the menu. He just take the menu, not even look at the waiter, and then he just order it, and then just stay with the cell phone and texting. And the food come, he still eat one bite and check his phone and eat one bite. Yeah, he cannot stand 15 minutes without cell phone, just finish eating. And I just think to myself that that's why he alone there. Nobody sit in front of him, have dinner with him because he's with his phone all the time. So that's what I'm thinking. And other way, like we think that cell phone make it easy to stay connected with everyone whenever we want to or need. It is an awesome tool for making entertainment, friendship, and relationship, right? But maybe not. The research said that cell phone can hide one interaction between two connection and lack connection to people close to us. Based on the research, 25 surprising facts about phone addiction. 40% of American population is addicted to their smartphone. The study said men is more attached to their cell phone. Among those, there are 58% of men and 47% of women suffer from nomophobia. They can live without cell phone. They have to bring their smartphone with them anywhere they go. Even walking along the street, relaxing at the park or beach, waiting in the doctor's office, in the restaurant, and even in the bathroom, shower, or sleep with them. In fact, like I walk by here, while people waiting to get in the classroom, everyone in a cell phone. That's true, I saw it.
I see like 90% of people when you're walking through the halls, face down on their phone.
Absolutely. And another study said parents who spend more time with phone has a great tendency to shout at their children. Because the amount of time they spend on the phone are more on kids can cause increased frustration in children, lead to become highly moody, since they look for attention for their children. Some parents ignore their children because their eyes are glued on the cell phone screen. We know that trying to connect with someone at the personal level when he or she attracted by cell phone can be frustrating. Obviously, with people who eyes are glued on the cell phone screen can be difficult to read. Like I heard all the time one day, like Tim tried to call attention from, what's his name?
Someone, let's go with that.
Yeah, someone, okay. And then he just like keep glue on his screen. It's hard to read attention. And another study showed that young adult age between 18 to 29 send on average texting like 109.5 touch a day. Approximately 113 touch and check their phone 60 times in a typical day, especially a young student, even in a classroom. Students spend about 7 hours a day interaction with information and communication technology. Anytime during class, whatever is spending overuse. So it increased time spent on their parents. So totally like it less time communication with family between parent and kid or teacher and student. It lack communication. They just texting instead. Yes.
My first question, she actually already knocked out because I was going to ask her like, how does it disrupt your relationship with either like